Welcome to the challenge round, where we pit bodybuilder against bodybuilder. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this match will be entered in the 1970s Decade Gladiator Round Tournament. And I have to say, the 1970s decade is really heating up. Today we have Johnny Fuller versus Scott Wilson. Of course, Johnny Fuller failed to enter the 1980s decade. But of course, he competed way back in 71, so he's definitely eligible for the 70s. And of course, Scott Wilson competed far back as 74. But get this, Scott Wilson was competing in 2000 at Masters competitions. Unbelievable. Anyway, we're going with Scott Wilson in this, and it's a shame. A real darn shame. Because it's of course, you may have guessed, the torn pec there on Johnny Fuller. And like I said, it was a shame because he is winning here, I believe. Just look at that waist and those lats and big old arms. And of course, look at the legs on Fuller. They're winning. But how can I award him a point when he has that torn pec? And look how full Scott Wilson's pec is. Anyway, let's cruise on into the front double bicep pose. I believe Scott Wilson is the superior man here in the front double bicep pose. Even if Johnny Fuller, he didn't have that torn pec, I believe that Wilson would still be taking this one. Look at the conditioning of those abs and obliques. His crispness and sharpness, I believe he is at another level. Of course, on Fuller's side there, he has that small waist and big old legs, so he still has hope. It's only 2-0. There's still plenty of poses to go. So let's have a look at the next one. Yes, the front lat spread. And you may have already guessed, this torn pec of Johnny Fuller is really playing a factor in this, the front lat spread. Although I will say, Wilson may have already had this one beat anyway. Just, he looks fantastic. I apologize, the camera's a little bit low there, so I had to make him appear a little bit shorter, but I believe this is how it would be. But anyway, Fuller's taking a beating, and a lot has to do with that torn pec. But let's have a look at what is this? The side chest pose. And Johnny Fuller is doing his best to garner up at least 1 point in this competition so far. And as far as the legs are concerned, I do have to lean towards Fuller. Look at those calves. But I cannot award him a point at all. Look at that upper body of Wilson. He is just built and designed for this pose. Look at that rib cage. Massive big old arms. And I very rarely say this, but look at that statuesque face and head. He looks like Eugene Sandow, for goodness sakes. All he needs is a little leaflet and perhaps a moustache. Anyway, Wilson gets the point, and let's now have a look at the side tricep pose. I believe we have Fuller at a disadvantage as far as the angle is concerned this time, so I had to make him a little bit shorter, perhaps. And it doesn't matter. Look at those arms. When you compare the arms, I mean, even if it was close or a blowout as far as the physique is concerned, you really have to take into consideration that Wilson's dominating in that tricep region. And it is close. Perhaps Wilson is even winning as far as the upper body is concerned. But anyway, Wilson takes this one easy in my opinion. Alright, let's have a look at the next pose. And this is an excellent little comparison. It is fair to say I cheated a little bit in Johnny Fuller's favor. In case you didn't notice there, his right arm is actually his left arm. This picture had no right arm, it was just cut off, so I just cropped it and pasted his left arm onto his right one just to make it, look good. It's not like his arms were any different, so this is probably exactly what it would have looked like. But anyway, that's a ridiculous explanation. I probably could have just got away with it. This is a close one. This is a very close one. There's qualities about Fuller that I appreciate much more, like his overall silhouette, small waist and V-taper and big legs. But then that conditioning of the hamstrings of Wilson there. And when you look at the Christmas tree, I almost have to lean slightly towards him, but of course, look at those big traps on Fuller. A close one. But at the end of the day, I am going with Wilson because of that Christmas tree. It's awesome, and probably just as good as Samir Banus. Anyway, let's have a look at the final pose, as Johnny Fuller is just in such a deficit that he'll never get out. And actually, he looks rather fantastic here in this most muscular pose. He is one of the rare few that is able to stand upright and still manage to pop those traps. As you can see, Wilson, he has to really bend over to stick those traps out. But it's in my belief that showing those abs is much better. And if you look at the legs of Fuller, once again, I reiterate, in this whole competition, he's been winning in the legs pretty much. And you look at the feathering. Johnny Fuller, I can't say enough good things about this guy. And it's a shame he lost 2 in a row and he failed to make the Gladiator round in both decades. So here is your winner of this challenge round, Scott Wilson. Scott Wilson will now await the challenge of another challenge round winner to do battle in the Gladiator round.